Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast, with your host, Brandon Morrell.
Hey everybody, this is Braison Cyrus, and you're listening to a great show with music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio Podcast, Spotify, and on the sportsguyspodcast.com and at thwn.org.
And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Of course, busy day full of shows leading up to the Country Radio Seminar, March 18th to 20th in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee at the Omni Hotel. We hope to be there too and hope you guys will join us for exclusive coverage you're not going to find anywhere else out there. Of course, the interviews to be announced and, of course, all the great shows here. It's a grand slam of music, sports, entertainment here. Brandon Morrell here, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and out there to iHeartRadio and our friends over at Spotify and, of course, thwn.org out there, too. He's got a brand new record out across all the DSPs out there for you guys to check out, brand new EP. Make sure you go do that. Looking forward to the past. We're looking forward to him joining us here on the show right now. Braison Cyrus to the Backstage Pass. Braison, how you doing, man?
What's up? I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Always a busy time of the year. Of course, everybody just passed the Valentine's Day mark, and a lot of cool things going on in your camp. Talk about the start to 2026 for you and this new EP across all the digital streaming platforms.
Well, so far in 2026, we've got Looking Forward to the Past, which is a single I put out with Tyler Ramsey. And the EP is really just kind of, all the singles that have been released from this upcoming record so far.
Yeah, when you look at like the body of work out there too for this, talk about, because it takes a team to put it together. When you look at, like I said, you're the contributors there too for people that come on and collaborate with this record too. You mentioned Tyler Ramsey and of course, Noah coming in and just a lot of great musicians and people that play on this record. The project itself, when you break down the entire body of work, man, it takes a team to put it together, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And, my, two kind of closest collaborators in the whole record behind the scenes have been Jordan Lindley and Ryan Rasmussen, my engineer. And so, we really put the whole thing together as a team from the very beginning.
Talk about your upbringing too, because you're no stranger to the music industry. Growing up in the family, knowing that, like I said, your siblings a big part of it too as well. Of course, your dad very synonymous with '90s country. Talk about just growing up around that, and was this something that when you were little that you kind of knew that in growing up in it and around the music industry that you would be doing this?
No, I went to like an arts high school for film and photography, and then did some college, no degree, but did some college that was still based around like visual art and all that. And then I really didn't kind of get into music until I moved back to Nashville in 2016.
When you look back at it, a lot of people say they take that, leap of faith too, and they got this, or Nashville's that 10-year town, or at least 10 to 15-year town. You hear a lot of artists talk about these days, looking back at it too. The first time you got there, was it kind of what you thought it would be, or was it one of those things like, man, this is a very challenging industry, and I'm just kind of getting started? Talk about that for me.
I think it's challenging, in certain ways, but I think it's also, like ways that you wouldn't really expect. But I think for the most part, if you meet like, really good people and you're very, particular about who you work with, and, you surround yourself with people who, you guys are all lifting each other up, then I don't think it's too complicated. But, I think like the hardest part is, finding people who believe in you, finding people who want what's best for you. And luckily, especially in the last few years, I've had that in pretty great abundance due to my friends and colleagues. So very, very grateful, very blessed to say that. And, that's usually the advice I give any songwriter or artist, if they ever ask me if moving to Nashville is the right move. I just say, if you can have a sort of network and infrastructure, and more importantly, good friends before you come to the town and try to make it.
Yeah, you mentioned that networking. Every time we go there for like live radio shows, it's amazing the people you meet in the industry too, to kind of cross promote things and talk about stuff and just kind of let them know about what you're doing. And of course, that cross promotion is so important out there too, and take on all the different projects out there to promote, like I said, the interviews and the artist things that we do. Collaboration is becoming more of the norm now in the industry too. You've done it yourself too, like I said, with this previous record, of course, your previous album. Talk about just how important it is to the industry to have that collaboration now.
I think it's important, mainly like, I think it's important that you do it with people that you respect and people you're friends with, and, people who, you feel like your audience will appreciate and know, or even somebody cool that you think you could like turn your audience onto. So I think that, the way you should do these collabs is with people, like I grew up listening to Tyler Ramsey, and, one of the, spoiler alert, but one of the collabs on the full record is a band called Bird Talker. And, I went on tour with them back in 2018, the first tour I ever went on in my life. So I think like, as long as you're like, kind of in that similar thing of what I said about networking, like if you're collabing with people you're close to and you respect, and you think your audience will either, like them, or maybe their audience will like you, I think that that's, super important.
I got a chance to listen to that first album that you put out. Of course, everybody did too, no doubt about it, back in October 2021. And speaking of collabs on there, Steve Earle, the great Steve Earle, has been around a long time, great singer-songwriter. I loved Blackwater, man. I wanted to get a little bit of a kind of a backstory on the origination of that one, and kind of when you made the call to Steve to say, this is going to be on that particular record, and just the overall body of work of your first album.
Yeah. So Blackwater, honestly, I mean, like that is, from my very first record, that is, the song that I'm still so, stoked on, and feel like it was something I put a lot of work into. But really, I wrote Blackwater during a heat wave in Nashville in 2017, I think. And I was actually in the car with my drummer, Blair, and it was bumper to bumper traffic, and it was 100 something degrees outside. And we saw a guy get out of his car and start beating up another dude on the highway. And we were like, man, this heat wave is making people lose their minds. And so we went back to this little studio that I was, kind of working out of at the time. And I ended up just writing Blackwater about, a southern town that was, people were losing their minds because of a heat wave. And then, I started kind of adding this kind of like mystery, murder element into it. And it just kind of reminded me of Copperhead Road. I used to go listen to Copperhead Road with my dad on this road called, actually I probably shouldn't say what it's called, but I used to go drive down this old dirt road with my dad, and we would listen to Copperhead Road, and this song just kind of like took me back to that. And so I asked my manager at the time if he knew Steve Earle, and luckily he knew somebody who knew him quite well. And so we sent him an email, and, it was, really, really good timing, because, he had a kind of break in his schedule and was able to do it.
Yeah, I love this new record too, and it's amazing where these songs come from. Looking forward to the past, the EP out there with Braison Cyrus here, the Backstage Pass. Time to play a little music here. As long as you'll stay, it's Braison and Noah Cyrus here on the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned, more coming up. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stay tuned.
Want you to hear this the wrong way. I know that you wanna take off. You only hear the things that I don't say. Anything else would be wrong. As long as you'll stay, we'll be living day by day. I swear I'll try to change. We'll talk of better days. The trophy might be broken, but it's golden just the same. always been my favorite part. As long as you'll stay, we'll be living day by day. I swear I'll try to change. We'll talk of better days. The trophy might be broken, but it's golden just the same. Nothing old can be saved, something new could be found. Didn't see it going up, but I felt it coming down. What's mine is still yours, what's yours is still mine. We'll walk hand in hand, one step at a time. As long as you'll stay, we'll be living day by day. I swear I'll try to change. We'll talk of better days. The trophy might be broken, but it's golden just the same. Nothing old can be saved, something new could be found. Didn't see it going up, but I felt it coming down. What's mine is still yours, what's yours is still mine. We'll walk hand in hand, one step at a time.
Howdy, y'all. This is recording artist Neil McCoy, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. That's where I come in. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream the show anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio Podcast. You can also stream at thwn.org.
Is your home or business in need of a fresh look? Right Flow Pressure Washing and Lawn LLC is more than just pressure washing, providing professional cleaning for homes, commercial buildings, parking lots, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, and so much more, including lawn service and landscaping. Our mission here at Right Flow is to exceed the needs of all our customers while providing all of our services at an affordable rate. We're committed to going above and beyond where the job is done right. Give your property the care it deserves. Call Right Flow today at 409-363-2565 or go to rightflowwashandlawn.com.
Hey folks, this is George Thorogood, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, sports, and entertainment. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast with Brandon Morrell and Roger Barkley on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Tune into the show on iHeartRadio and Spotify and at the sportsguyspodcast.com and on the thwn.org.
And back here, Braison Cyrus on the show here, the sportsguyspodcast.com, and of course, iHeartRadio out there and Spotify too. That's such a good song, Braison. I loved it. Second song on the record. Looking forward to the past, the EP, As Long As You'll Stay. Talk about this one.
That was actually a song I wrote a while back with a guy. His name's Ben Kramer. He's in a band called Old Sea Brigade, and another songwriter in Nashville named Trent Dowse. We wrote that together back in probably 2021, sometime in there. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a song that we wrote in an afternoon, and then I just always really loved more the melody of it. I'm usually a lyrics guy, but the melody and kind of the, overall vibe of the whole song really, made me, we wanted to pitch it around and stuff, but then, I ended up just wanting to put it on this record, and I knew that was the right one to put Noah on.
When you look at another collaboration you had done, I love this one off that same record for Looking Forward to the Past, the current EP. Again, Braison Cyrus here, the Backstage Pass, here in the middle with Sierra Lundy. Talk about that one for me.
Similar story. I wrote that back with Old Sea Brigade, Ben Kramer. We wrote a lot of these songs originally to kind of pitch around in 2021, 2022, and we had just moved near each other in Nashville during the pandemic. So we were kind of the only people we were really hanging around with at the time, and, able to work together because we lived near each other, and, we had, we were taking a lot of that time during the quarantine to work together. And Here in the Middle is one of those songs where at one point, maybe he was going to cut it, maybe someone else was going to cut it. And then whenever I was making this record, I was like, I'm going to put this on here. And then luckily ended up meeting Sierra and her band OC Missy Elliott. I think they reached out to me because they heard the song that I wrote with Orville Peck back right before I started recording this album.
Back to your first one there too for Javelina too. One of the favorite songs that I had off there was Ghost Dance. You mentioned working with Old Sea Brigade too, which was off of there. What a story told in songs and kind of where they come from too, and the storytelling is just a huge part as much as the writing. Ghost Dance must have an interesting story, right?
My dad wrote it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that was not a. I guess that song is technically a cover.
Remember that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a song my dad wrote and never put out, and then I think I changed it slightly. But yeah, my dad wrote that with the dude he wrote "Achy Breaky Heart" with. So, but they never put it out.
Never put it out. Interesting story. I'll tell you what else lit off that record was "Don't Hold Your Breath," which was Old Sea Brigade and Victoria Bigelow. How did this one come together?
"Don't Hold Your Breath" I wrote back whenever I was in college, and I wrote just the words, no music or anything, while I was waiting in line to go into a nightclub. And it's a little boring, but that is literally it just kind of I was maybe intoxicated and wrote that down in my notes on my phone just as a little poem.
Yeah, I wanted to build a little bit on songwriting too, because a lot of people come on, they love to just pin their own music. Some can do a little bit of both. Some hate songwriting. Some just like getting in a writer's room and sharing ideas with other different writers out there too, or just love getting pitched those songs by the songwriters and go and record them because they say sometimes that's the easiest thing, or the song just fits them. When it comes to your kind of school of songwriting, what do you really enjoy the most when it comes to writing your own songs, or just kind of doing a little bit of both with getting pitched songs? Tell me about that.
Doing both. I haven't ever been formally pitched any songs that cut myself, but the whole origin of this record that is coming out in March was most of the songs were written for me to pitch to Orville Peck. He had just cut one of my songs and a song that I pitched to him. And then I was like, oh man, I want him to cut more of my songs. And so from now on, here in the middle, I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I've put out yet. Even looking forward to the past, these were all songs that I intended to, at some point, pitch to Orville Peck and see if I could, get lightning to strike twice. So, but then ended up just kind of in the process of recording them, just be like, you know what, maybe I'll just do it myself for fun. I'll put out another record, just kind of see how it goes. But that was, a lot of the songs were written, intended for him.
I wanted to ask you about just the performing arts business overall, the rush of being on stage when you get a chance to get out there and perform in front of a crowd and, kind of do your thing, and you're taking command of the stage and you're showing off those artist skills out there. What's the best, part of just being out there performing on stage?
Probably the meal tickets at the venue. Honestly, I love going out and, whenever I'm in Houston or Dallas or anywhere else I'm touring and getting to, try something local and being there with my friends. And like, I always think that the kind of like pre-show dinner is always such a good grounding moment together. And then you kind of bring that, like, that energy and the like that camaraderie that you're feeling backstage out onto the stage. And I hope that for the most part that kind of brotherhood, for lack of a better word, really translates into a good show for the audience, so like, all of my bandmates have been, working with me for minimum, 3 years. And some of them go all the way back to my first tour ever. So really just kind of getting to have like those moments where you're, backstage, taking in the fact that you're not on your, home turf, and then letting that kind of translate for the audience.
So you'd probably say that camaraderie with the guys, like in the band, and doing things not just when it comes to showtime out there, but doing things behind the scenes, and that whole cohesiveness and just kind of being like a brotherhood. That's so important in the industry too, right?
Yeah, I think everything that you do should come back to the the relationships you have with everybody around you, whether it's your band or your co-writers, your people you're recording the record with, your team, manager, agent, all those people. Like I feel like it should all just kind of go back to, I trust you, I enjoy being around you, I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else. And luckily I feel like kind of for the first time I'm like in this space where I'm saying I would rather not be doing, there's no one I would rather be doing what I'm doing now more with than the people I'm doing it with right now.
Definitely that cohesiveness, very important. And like I said, being on the same page and doing it with the people that you enjoy the most too at the same time. Again, looking forward to the past, Braison Cyrus, the current EP across all the DSPs out there. Time to know this here on the Backstage Pass, featuring someone Miley Cyrus out there too as well. Again, the Backstage Pass, Braison Cyrus, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Coming right back. Stay tuned.
Bet you didn't know this. Bet you didn't know this about yourself. I guess I didn't notice. I guess I didn't notice till you left. The words that you left me with, they're rotting and they're fucking with my head. Hear them over and over again. I wish that I could give them back instead. Then the walls came down. It's a crazy town we lived in. And I'm looking around and I still haven't found what I'm missing. I guess I could stay here and work for pay and spend it, making up new reasons in my mind, but I'm already gone. Bet you didn't know that. Bet you didn't know that's how I felt. It's possible you heard it. It's possible you heard from someone else. You had your dreams and made your bets, and now I'm wondering how it's working out. Work for you, it might work for me. At the very least, I won't have any doubts. Then the walls came down. It's a crazy town we lived in. Now I'm looking around and I still haven't found what I'm missing. I guess I could stay here and work for pay and spend it, making up new reasons in my mind, but I'm already gone. Bet you didn't know this. Bet you didn't know that you had said that. Bet you didn't know this. Bet you didn't know until you came back home. That the walls came down. It's a crazy town we lived in. Now I'm looking around and I still haven't found what I'm missing. I guess I could stay here and work for pay and spend it. I'm making up new reasons in my mind, but I'm already gone.
Hey y'all, this is Nashville recording artist Sunny Sweeney, and you're listening to the best in music and sports, the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area broadcasting network. Stream anytime on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org. You can also listen anytime on iHeartRadio podcast.
Are you looking to increase your online presence? Are you searching for a new logo or company branding? Have you been considering more ways to reach the world with your business, ministry, or church's message? Barkley Music and Media is an award-winning design company that utilizes the latest technology while keeping the integrity of over 30 years of customer service. Web design, graphic design, multimedia, video editing, voiceover, commercials, logo design and branding, photography, and much, much more. See portfolios and testimonials online at www.barkleymusicandmedia.com or contact them today at 502-382-8299. Barkley Music and Media, your connection for the best in multimedia. Call today, 502-382-8299, or go to www.barkleymusicandmedia.com. Barkley Music and Media, integrity, technology, and design. www.barkleymusicandmedia.com.
Hey guys and gals, this is Colby Calais, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass with Brandon Morell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream the show anytime on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio podcasts. It's a grand slam of music, entertainment, and sports.
And back here on the show again, Braison Cyrus joining us here again. That single out there too, according to that EP. It's on that EP. Looking forward to the past. Know This, featuring Miley Cyrus. I mentioned someone that a lot of the folks around the world know very well too. And of course, you grew up a sister there too at the same time. Talk about this one and a very special collaboration coming together for that song. I Know This.
Yeah, I mean, that song really, we wrote it because the notes we were getting about the album at the time was kind of a bummer. And like literally like every song was slow and kind of sad. And so me and Jordan Lindley, my co-writer on there, we just kind of wanted to make a song that was, you know, kind of the flip side of everything. We wanted to make something fun. We make something cool. The lyrics came secondary to kind of making this music. And then when it came time, I was like, man, I really just want somebody who has, you know, kind of a power in their voice that I, you know, sometimes I, you know, that I lack a little bit. And so after thinking, me and my engineer Ryan both at the same time had the same thought, and it was send it over to Miley, and she, you know, heard it and she was like, oh yeah, I want to do it. When do you need it by? And I was like, take your time, whatever. It's, you know, no rush. And then got a folder back with like 20 parts, and she was like, use all of it, use none of it, you know, whatever you want to do. And we ended up using pretty much all of it. So yeah, it was cool. Actually, probably the easiest to coordinate collab on the entire record.
Super talented she is too. You know, what's that like for you? And a lot of people may not know, they said growing up in it, and when it comes to the music industry and having successful father who dominated country in the 90s and seeing your sister, you know, dominate the pop industry and across all different genres of music out there too as well, and a successful, you know, businesswoman herself too. Growing up in and around that too. Talk about, kind of elaborate a little bit, just kind of seeing, you know, what they've done, and do you take a little bit kind of after them, or do you kind of want to, you know, as you get out there with the last name, you know, pave your own path? Talk about success and how it comes for you.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think you know, I'm one of, you know, many kids, and we all have kind of done music in some form and another. And I think it's always like Noah's done her thing, Miley's done her thing. My brother Trace was in a rock band and did his own thing. And so I think that, you know, learn from the wins, and also learn from the losses. And, you know, definitely, I think if you're, you know, ignoring the wisdom that the people who kind of have, you know, been doing this longer than you have, I think ignoring that is a mistake. So I try to, like, you know, for the most part, you know, and so does Noah and so does everybody else, try to, like, you know, do their own thing and branch out and, you know, make the connections and relationships that we've all kind of formed individually, but also definitely kind of having that, you know, kind of similar to what I said with like my band or my other colleagues, like having that kind of like shared, you know, brotherhood, familyhood, sisterhood kind of thing with each other, where you can, you know, learn from the hits and the misses. I think that's probably the most important thing that you get to, you know, kind of experience growing up that way.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense there too. Like I said, and you mentioned they're kind of paving your own way too, but those relationships are the key to success out there too. Talk about just some fun stuff when you got a little downtime. Braison, what do you like doing when you're not doing music, hobbies and things like that?
Magic the Gathering, D&D, video games, all of that stuff. All that stuff that nobody else wants to talk about.
Well, I love vintage video games there too, and I just started getting into like the D&D, so I'm kind of on that uprising now too, so learning about a lot of it too. I'm kind of a late arrival to the party when it comes down to it, so I'm still learning a lot about the Dungeons and Dragons and stuff out there too. So it's a lot of fun. In fact, I was just in the mall like last week and actually bought a they'd had like a console there too and like a little zip file, and it actually put some like over 5,000 of the old arcade games on it, like Mario Brothers and Mortal Kombat. And I started playing that too, and it's amazing how much fun comes back, and I missed a part of my childhood,
Yeah.
So that had to be a lot of fun for me, and I bought that little thing for like $60, and I'm like, man, it's crazy how you can have all those games on there. So it just made me feel like a little kid again too. Hey, when it comes to food out there, what do you like to do? Cook your own food, or a little bit of takeout, or a little bit of both? What cuisine do you like?
Mainly like Middle Eastern food. We found some pretty great spots whenever we were on tour back in the fall in Houston and Dallas. I found this great little Arabi shop somewhere. I forget the name of it. I shouted them out at one point, but trying to be pretty healthy. I've got a 4-year-old, so I'm trying to, according to my wife, I need to live forever. So so not enjoying food as much as I used to, but probably for the best that way.
Exactly where that's at. I've got a soon to be 6-year-old now too at the same time, and yeah, we can't be around forever. We'd like to have as many days possible to be around for those kiddos. No doubt about it too. They always say the older you get, it's harder to watch the cholesterol and all the numbers that you have to hit out there too. I mentioned like fun time things like that too, and I'm such a family guy out there too. I love just being around my little one and doing that, and I know that's hard to kind of sit there and balance that between family life and between work life because the music industry gets so busy. How do you find that fine line between it and try to balance that between your career and between your family?
I think I just being present whenever you are home, I think is like the most important thing. But I also, I'm home a lot. I work from home. And then whenever I'm on tour, maybe it's a week, 2 weeks, but for the most part, I think, I'm home and with my family as much as any other dad. But I feel like whether you're in the music industry and you're touring, or you're, in the office or whatever, I think just making sure that you're present whenever you're home and you kind of leave, the work at the door, so to speak. I think that's always, kind of the most important thing.
All right, last one. We'll finish with this one. Kind of a dream stage to step on that you haven't stepped on yet. If there could pick a stage out there or a couple of them, where would you like to perform in your music career?
I think Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the one.
That's always a good sign. Good choice. I was going to mention either also too the Grand Ole Opry, but hey, we'll take the Red Rocks out there too. One of the most iconic stages out there too, and great things to perform out there too. Well, I love this EP. It's looking forward to the past. Braison Cyrus here, the Backstage Pass. Continued success going forward. Braison, we appreciate the time you shared with us today to kind of go over some songs and the record and everything out there too. And looking forward to reconnecting again, man. And again, happy first quarter for you guys and continued success going forward. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
You got it. Braison Cyrus here, the Backstage Pass. Again, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and of course out there too, iHeartRadio Podcast and Spotify, and the sportsguyspodcast.com. We'll talk to you soon. God bless. Take care.
What's up, Farm Flops? This is recording artist Hastings, and you're listening to the best in music, sports, and entertainment. It's the Backstage Pass with Brandon Morell on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream the show anytime on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org. You can also stream on iHeartRadio Podcasts. You're going to be glad you did.